Hello everybody and welcome back to another video from HSTV. I know it's been a while. I was away on holiday and doing some stuff and very busy with university, but I am back with another video, and today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking all about intercalation at Edinburgh University. If you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, I'm a second year medical student here at Edinburgh University, and next year I will be intercalating, and this video is all about what intercalation is and specifically what I'm going to be doing next year. So I hope this is useful and you enjoy it. So intercalation is a year out of medicine, specifically your third year here at Edinburgh anyway. And it's basically you go off, you do something else. I'll go over the kind of options and topics you have and degrees that you could go for in a while. But essentially you do something that's not medicine for a year, and at the end of that year you get a Bachelor in Science degree. So after you finish your 6 years at Edinburgh, you're awarded your MBCHP degree along with a Bachelor in Science. Now, a lot of medical schools across the UK, they offer intercalation, but it's not compulsory. Edinburgh says it's compulsory, so everybody who comes to Edinburgh to study medicine has to do intercalation in their third year. Now, there's an exception to that. If you're a graduate entry student, i.e. you've done a degree and then come into medicine, you don't have to do it. You can skip from your second year into your fourth year of medicine. So that's, I guess, a key difference between Edinburgh Medical School and a lot of other medical schools in the UK. So this Bachelor in Medical Sciences degree then, you're probably wondering what kind of options do you have and what sort of things are you offered, because it's a compulsory course and you want to do something that's worthwhile for a year and something you're interested in, right? So let me tell you the options that were available to us this year, because we've already chosen, and I'll be talking about what choice I've been allocated and how that works in a while. But there's a lot of options. I'm going to put them up on the screen as well and read them off my phone because there is a good variety to choose from. So first of all, we have anesthesia, critical care and pain medicine. We have anatomy and development, anthropology and sociology of medicine, biochemistry, bioethics, law and society, biomedical sciences, cell biology and molecular biology. There's development, regeneration and stem cells, epidemiology, evolutionary biology, genetics and molecular genetics, global health policy, health sciences, and within that you have medical sciences, primary care and surgical sciences, immunology, infectious diseases, literature and medicine, neuroscience, pharmacology, physical activity for health, physiology, psychology, reproductive biology, sports science, medicine and zoology. So that is a lot of options. So depending on your interests, whether you want to still go like a medically route, there's things like anatomy that you can do. But if you want to do something that's quite different for a year, you might want to do like literature or anthropology, things like that. So there's quite a good variety of things, and within each of these degrees, there's an opportunity to go down your own route. So there is a chance for you to do like a research project in the semester 2 of your year 3. So this is kind of getting into quite complicated terms here, and I don't want to give too much away because things can change, but really you have your main modules and you are with students from that degree. So you basically lose touch of your medicine year for 1 year basically, and you get to be with non-medics for 1 year, which in itself is a good experience. And then you get to do something with them for a semester, and then you kind of get to do your own research project as well within that year. So it's a great opportunity to get some transferable skills and make some good contacts, make some new friends as well. And then obviously you come back into fourth year, which is your clinical years, and you're straight back into medicine. So I guess the next thing I want to talk about is when do you put in your choices, how do allocations work, and when are you allocated, when do you find out what you're doing. So at Edinburgh, what we did is we put in our choices for the beginning of January, and we have to choose 7, so we have to put our top 7 choices. The reason for that is because not everyone gets their first choice, unfortunately, because there is a kind of a cap. It's like a limited number that they can take for each course because you're joining non-medics and it kind of depends on their capacity. So because of all those logistical reasons, everyone doesn't get their first choice and you have to put down 7. Saying that, if you're a bit strategic about it, you can get your first or your second choice. So The way it works is that, you know, courses like anesthesia and critical care, they are very competitive. Well, competitive as in there's a lot of people who apply. It's a very popular course. So, you know, a lot of people don't get that as their first choice. There's other courses like physiology which aren't so popular, so if you put that as your first or second, you're most likely gonna get it. So you have to kind of pick your choices a bit strategically, and hopefully you do get your first or your second choice. The way they allocate it is random. It's literally like names out of a hat kind of situation. There used to be a thing where they used to rank you depending on your marks and your grades. However, they don't do that anymore. It's all a random process and it's just your luck. And then when you have submitted your choices, you find out, well, we found out in about the beginning of February, I think it was. So at the beginning of February, we now know what we are going to be doing for our intercalation starting in September of this year. So when I start third year. Now, if you feel that Edinburgh is not giving you the choice of degree that you're looking for, and you see a course that is better somewhere else at a different university, then Edinburgh does actually give you the option to apply externally. So I know a few people who applied to Imperial College London, which is down in England, and they've been accepted there. But although Edinburgh gives you permission to do that, you have to sort out your own accommodation, your finances, all that kind of stuff, and it's on the other university's discretion essentially whether they give you a place on that course or not. So the option's there if you need it, but that's your choice. So I think following on from that then, you will be curious to know what I put down as my choices and what I'm going to be doing next year. So here are my choices, I'll put them on the screen somewhere. So my first choice was Health Sciences Surgical Science, second was Health Sciences Medical Science, third was Physiology, fourth Pharmacology, my fifth was Bioethics, Law and Society, sixth was Biomedical Sciences, and seventh was Literature and Medicine. Now a few of those, I'm not going to lie, like, you know, anywhere from, you know, my fourth to my seventh choice, I wasn't particularly interested in, and I was quite sure I was going to get somewhere between my first and my third choice. So I made sure that those were things that I was really quite interested in. I didn't mind what I got, but, you know, anywhere below my fourth, I was a bit like, I'm just putting it in for the sake of filling the format. Most people do get within their first to their third choice, so I was like, I think I'm safe. So recently I found out that I got my second choice, which was Health Sciences Medical Sciences, and you know what, I was very happy about that, because even though my first choice was Health Sciences Surgical Sciences, because I'm quite interested in surgery, it was all under Health Sciences and it's basically the same modules except from one little bit, so I wasn't, you know, very fussed about it, and I was very happy that I get to do something that I'm interested in next year. Alright, so I don't want to make this video all about health sciences and what that degree entails. I think that's going to be a separate video, maybe in the beginning of year 3, when even I get a bit more information about it. But very briefly, essentially, you do a few modules, a few critical appraisals, kind of academic medicine related, and then in semester 2, so from January onwards next year, I will be doing a 12-week research project. So I guess that's a very brief outline of what the health sciences degree entails. I probably will make another video on that going in a bit more detail, but for now I think I'll leave some links in the description if any of you guys are interested. And yeah, let's continue the video by talking about the pros and cons of intercalation. So let's start with some of the pros. So one of the great things about intercalation is that after you've done your first and second year at medical school, it can get sometimes especially now as we're nearing the end of second year, gets a bit boring, just kind of doing lectures over lectures and, you know, just learning so much stuff like anatomy and everything. It can get a lot, okay? And that's normal because that's what medical school is all about. But I think it's nice to just come away from medicine a little bit and just do something a bit different for a year before you go into the very hardcore clinical years of medicine. So in that way, it's nice to get a bit of a change and an opportunity to meet some new people and make some good contacts as well. So you don't have to do an intercalation course that ties in with a future specialty you're interested in. So for example, if you are interested in neurology, you don't have to pick neurosciences, or if you're interested in surgery, you don't have to pick surgical sciences. You don't have to do that. And the reason for that is, regardless of whatever intercalation degree you do, you're going to get some great, valuable, transferable skills. You're going to get an insight into research skills as well, and basically like a new way of learning things and just doing different topics. And your intercalation degree, it won't affect your application to neurology or surgery or whatever you want to do after medical school. This is just purely for your benefit and, you know, what can you gain from it. Now, saying that, intercalation does affect your future specialty training applications in a positive way because it gives you points on your portfolio. Now, previously, it also gave you points to apply for foundation year jobs. So there's a lot of, you know, jargon I'm using here, but essentially after you complete medical school, you have 2 foundation years. And to apply to those, it's quite competitive, and it used to be that if you've done an intercalation degree, you get a few extra points and there's a higher chance of you getting your first ranked area to do your foundation year jobs. However, they've removed that now because people are smart and basically everyone was doing an intercalation degree, so it wasn't really worth it anymore. However, for your surgical training later on, or your physician training, whatever you want to do after your foundation years, there's still points on your portfolio if you've done an intercalation. So it is a win situation, I would still say, and even though you're not doing it just for your portfolio, there is that advantage there as well. And I mean, another great advantage is you're getting a whole degree in just 1 year's worth of work. And although that year might be a lot of hard work and you might even find it difficult to adjust in the beginning because you're joining people already doing that course, I think it's very worth it, you know? Most degrees in the UK, they're, you know, 4 or 5 years, okay? And by the end of your 6 years, you've gained 2 degrees. So I see that's quite a winning situation, and obviously you're gaining a lot from it, so yeah. But I guess intercalation is not for everyone, and that's one of the big things you need to consider if you're planning on coming to Edinburgh Medical School. You have to do an intercalation here, so if you think this is not for you, don't come. If there's a topic that you really just don't like and you can't find a course that is appealing to you, then you're going to be stuck with that course for a year and you might really start to hate it, and then you just get put off studying and it's just a bit of a mess, right? So in that scenario, intercalation is not going to be for you. If you decide to intercalate externally and the finances are not working out for you, I guess that's also a bad scenario to be in. But saying that, you know, intercalation being part of the Edinburgh course, it's not an extra financial burden in that sense. You know from the beginning that you're going into a 6-year course. So I guess from that point of view, Edinburgh is quite good. But yeah, if you're coming from like other universities and things like that, then you have to think about that. Alright everyone, well, I hope that this video has been useful to some extent and it's cleared up some confusions that you might have had about intercalating, especially at Edinburgh University since it's compulsory. I hope that this has helped you to decide whether intercalation is for you or not, and I guess I've told you my experience as well, and I'm really looking forward to my intercalation year. I think it's going to be a good year, hopefully, fingers crossed, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated with what's going on next year as well. Until then, if you have any questions about intercalation or Edinburgh University, feel free to ask me down in the comments. You can also email me, or you can follow the HSTV Instagram and DM me on there. Whatever works for you. I'm always happy to help where I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.